Steamforged Games announced they are working on the Elden Ring board game and they will soon open a Kickstarter for it. Some of you wanted a video about the subject, so we will go through the things we know about the board game so far, like miniatures and other hints that Steamforged Games might be teasing us about. We're also going to be checking the campaign release date and more. Hi, my name is Nick and we are Tabletop Duo. Let's start with the things we know for sure, starting with the miniatures. On their teaser announcement we can see Margit, the Fell Woman miniature, so for sure it will be in the game. In the announcement they also mentioned two other characters that will be there for sure as enemies. You have Godric Soldier and Godric the Grafted himself. I'm curious to hear from you which enemies would you like to see beside these ones I mentioned. An interesting thing to check also is that the base of Margit does not have the arcs Steamforged Games use for Dark Souls and Monster Hunter, so it's very likely the combat will be different from what you see in these other games. The other information we know for sure is that it's going to be a 1 to 4 player game, so solo is going to be a thing. You'll be exploring the world, so I will show some interesting hints that might explain how that's going to work later on. The combat will be dice free, so another important difference from the Dark Souls the board game. The Kickstarter campaign should start soon, which would be fall 2022. So I want to go over some speculation, specifically about the two pictures they posted in two occasions in the last 2 months. The first one I already mentioned before, which shows them designing a new game, and we see the Dark Souls miniatures being used on hex tiles. This could be indicating that either the exploration or the combat could be done in hexes. And again, if this indeed is a teaser to the Elden Ring. But the second picture is more interesting. I don't know how clear it will be in the video, but I will try to explain the elements I see, and again, take this with a grain of salt, but I believe this design work is for Elden Ring. They covered the name, but we do see a lot of elements here that matches the board game, and the first one is that it's actually written Elden Ring at the top of the board right next to Q4, which matches the announcement that the Kickstarter campaign is starting soon. There is also something mentioned in 2024, so maybe that could be the year the game is coming out. Then we have also this area here where they listed the actions. So you have move, explore, interact, level up, teleport, locations, tokens, and reset. They also mention longsword, staff, shield, and each one of those have an option and a cost associated to it. For example, the small shield can block at the cost of 3 and push at the cost of 2. We also see a list of action card effects which match the diceless combat. You have damage, defense, push, stun, move, combo, and buffs. On the left side we can see melee and ranged AI, and you also have some options that they might be using, like have to move and attack or attack and move, so they can do both ways. And two schematics that could be for the combat positioning and one for the world exploration. There is also an area on the board that has been erased, but you can still see the words there written companions. Again, it's all speculation, but I thought it could be interesting for you to know. I personally think that we'll be getting all the main bosses and the miniatures for the main areas in the game, but the ones that are optional will very likely become expansions, just like in Dark Souls. So I would bet that Malenia, Praetor Rykard, Mog, I think they will be all big candidates for expansions. So what do you think it will come on the expansion? Let us know in the comments and stay tuned for more news on Elden Ring. You can check some other board game news and reviews over here. Thanks for watching and see you guys next time.